people make one of the most ancient and strongest drugs, called Mac, and it causes addiction even after first use. As you understood, I'm talking about OS X. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean opium. A reasonable question arises: how much is it for the masses? It depends on its state, new or used, when was it released, what specification does it have, and so on. I purchased mine in a used condition for 7,000 hryvnias. It's about $200. This MacBook Pro model is insanely old. It has a 13-inch display, but before I start bragging about its miserable technical specifications, I think it's not superfluous to tell you why the hell I need this piece of smoothly polished aluminum. The fact is that bourgeois technologies has attracted me for a long time, and the main motive to buy the premium laptop was a sudden need for a perfect silent laptop which didn't require special efforts to carry it anywhere, and thus that it wasn't especially expensive, which a little contradicts the category of the premium. A premium doesn't come cheap, but premium. It was in late 2012, and now it's the usual budget laptop. These specifications may not surprise you. At first I didn't plan to buy exactly the Mac. First my eyes fell on the traditional manufacturers: Asus, Lenovo, MSI, Acer, HP and others. But they didn't suit me in all impossible ways, such as new as well as used ones. The price provokes a fucking heart attack, then the lack of further upgrades makes disgust, and altogether makes me depressed. And then I tried to write the word MacBook in Google search box, and I was just fucking astonished by the price that these American stumps were selling for. I knew right away that I can't afford it. I started surfing OLX, its Ukrainian eBay, and looked at what prices Apple laptops were selling there on the secondary market, and found for myself more or less bearable option that suits me in all ways, but then a new problem arose: the fact that only used iPhones is more difficult to buy in the secondary market than a MacBook. Nowhere, except in the secondary market, there are such a concentration of cunning, greedy people trying to scam you, especially in the Apple products category. Only politicians lie more than these bastards. I spent a whole week of my life looking for more or less normal option. The stupidest mistake you can make when you buy something on the secondary market is to buy something you don't know anything about. It's about this case. All I knew at the time of purchase that there is an Apple stub on the logo and that they were slightly more expensive than usual laptops. That's why the search took so much time for me. The check at the post office was very superficial because, as I previously said, I'm unfamiliar with various types of MacBooks. A long time ago I wanted to make my own PC Hackintosh, but then I decided to give up with this idea because of the difficulties associated with it. Just before the purchase I decided to install macOS on my virtual machine, and I failed as usual. I thought I'd figure it out as soon as I will get Mac. When I was at the post office, I turned on the laptop and looked at the display like an idiot without figuring out what is going on the screen. And the first thing I did was unscrew all screws on the back cover of the laptop. The previous owner also disassembled it, saying that he was just changing thermal paste, but the screws were new as if he had twisted them with the power of thought. But I do not possess telekinesis, and after me it may seem that the laptop was disassembled by a crooked monkey with the Parkinson's disease. The symptoms of it are clearly seen in the way I shoot my videos. For safety precautions, I immediately disconnected the battery from the board. If you swap hard drive to SSD, the computer will work better, smoother, and so on. That's why I bought a 480GB SSD from Kingston and a 500GB Toshiba HDD sent to suffer in my main PC. How good is everything here? It's easy to disassemble, also very easy to assemble. I turned the laptop on and installed the operating system that was on it out of the box. Yes, in terms of consumer support from Apple, everything is on the highest level. Even the flash drive wasn't needed. The main thing is to have access to the internet, and the first thing I didn't like was the lack of Windows. OS X is good, but Windows is more familiar for me. Where is the start menu? I'm so fucking sick of it. It's time to install Windows. Windows will not install itself. Damn macOS users obsessed with the overpriced buckets. Here we go, now I'm going to install all games. Fuck, it turns out that the GPU is a part of CPU, which has only 2 cores and 4 threads, and yes, there is a 3rd generation Intel Core i5, 1.5 cores from my 12 core Xeon. I thought about it and decided it would be a great idea to compare my new MacBook to my laptop from Lenovo. On the secondary market, Lenovo's laptop is about twice as expensive as a Mac. It had a pretty rough life. I constantly get the feeling that it's about to fall apart in my hands. The battery is not working, it's been a long time since this shit degraded from a laptop to an undeveloped desktop computer, but still, the processor here is twice as powerful because of the RISC-4 Intel Core i7, by the way, it's also third generation. The only difference is that it has VGA type of socket, and the MacBook has VGA. The only difference between them is that one processor is soldered and the second one can be changed, that one that is VGA. To be clearer, all desktop processors from AMD are put into this type of socket. However, I would replace i7 with the weaker but more silent i5 like in the MacBook. In fact, this laptop is noisier than Noise MC in his best years. Just hear it by yourself. Yes, the MacBook is almost silent, except for the temperatures of its cores, which is under 100 degrees, but it's nothing, it's useful for it. What about trackpad on Lenovo laptop? It's disgusting and lacks the grind. In general, it's impossible to use a finger, it slips jerkily, I can't use it without gritting my teeth. It's impossible to use it. Thanks to microphone Blue Yeti, which I bought recently, I can normally record the sound comparison of these two laptops.
Kids I see cause of the one I love everything. Fire spreading all around.
The speakers on the Lenovo for 9 years of use have begun to roar. But what about the display? HD resolution on both of the laptops. The only visible difference is its size. MacBook 13-inch, Lenovo 15-inch. The MacBook display feels better, the colors are better on it, the camera will not be able to convey the picture that both laptops produce. Also, I do color correction on the vid. Picture from Mac reminds me more of an AMOLED screen. Seems like the battery is original. It had more than 800 recharge cycles and it still holds a charge, but the charger seems to be not original, but just a quality fake. I figured this out because the serial number can't be defined by macOS, although the former owner told me that the charger is original. Write in the comments if you want to know what hides a hard drive of the previous owner. If there will be lots of comments and likes under this video, I think I will do a data recovery from this drive. Oh, I didn't say anything about connectors, just the essentials. Battery charging socket, Ethernet, Thunderbolt, 2 USB sockets which are too close to each other so it's not always possible to use them at the same time. The disk drive here is another devil's toy. It certainly can be changed to another HDD or SSD drive by replacing it with so-called OptiBay, but I will not do it because HDD also makes noises. I bought my MacBook because of its ability to work without noise, but at all it's not that bad for its cost. Yes, its performance isn't that great, the 2-core processor that is 6 times less powerful than my Xeon is not that great. Only 8GB of RAM, to be honest it doesn't need more, but the performance was not the goal. There is an opinion that there are fewer viruses for macOS than for Windows, and it's true, but the funny thing that viruses work on macOS more specifically than on Windows. Because if person sits on a computer from Apple, that means that he definitely has money and there is something to steal from him, because even fool knows that the homeless people will not buy themselves a computer from Apple, at least not a new one. I don't remember what I first wrote in the search bar of Gulag but in the search results, the first site told me that I have 3 viruses on my Mac, although the computer is completely clean. Of course, it's just a typical scam site, but if you will try to enter this site with Windows, it will be unavailable for you, and it's possible because of Con Inside code, which allows only Mac users and block the possibility of entering for other people from other operation systems. Because if you enter this site with Windows, you immediately understand that it's scam. But luckily, Apple user support is great. For example, if something fails to install or config, the operating system shows an error that doesn't look like an error. Like Dora the Explorer, you surfed the internet hoping to find an answer how to fix damn bug, and on macOS, it's just simple and intuitive. Most often, everything is solved by searching on Google, and the first in the list of solutions to the problem will be Apple's website, which will tell you what to do, and even masters from YouTube are not required. That's the way things are. Really good if you'll write comments, subscribe to my channel, like this video, that is very important. Thank you for watching, goodbye.